We're shooting a new episode on this Lambo replica we made. In the previous episode we did the interior, which took a good 5 or even 6 months to complete. And then once we made it to the final stages of the build, the question popped up on whether we should slap it all back together and make our way out to some racetrack, to which the unanimous answer on behalf of all of us was no, we are definitely not ready. The other realization that we had was that summer was coming to an end. The autumn cold is slowly creeping its way in, and if we don't make it out in the next, let's call it a week or two, winter comes and that's when something falls onto the car. We ran the risk of postponing the whole thing until May. And after going through everything we need to finalize, like reseal the headlight, reassemble the rear brakes, since we did modify the rear suspension in a previous episode, get a starter button going, tidy up some of the wiring, there's really not that much to it. There's even the naive assumption that we can hammer this out in just 5 days. But even if that 5 turns into a couple of weeks, I mean, we should still be able to make it to the racetrack. Our viewers agreed with the thought that we're done with this build, and we ourselves sort of accepted that notion. But it seems like there's a lack of closure. We've been working on this car for 3.5 years now, and now it's fully prepared inside and out. The headlights work, the engine does too. We've got tremendous grip, 450 pound-feet of torque, and with all that we didn't even go through with what the car was being built for in the first place. Well, even as it sits, the car is able to run and drive. But in order for it to make you feel right, we need to finish a few minor things here and there, which we wanted to anyway. That's going to give us the proper driving experience. Okay, we've got brakes, judging by the color off of a locomotive. So when I was putting together this rear suspension, it just so happened, I think this is a spindle from an Infiniti EX, there's a bit of QX in there, and a bunch of other Infiniti parts. And so when I came to pick up the brakes, they had these FX35 rotors in stock, but they didn't have the calipers. We did get a little bit upset at first, but after throwing around and comparing some codes and part numbers, we thought that there have to be some Nissan parts that fit. These are Nissan Murano calipers. What an amalgamation of Japanese parts, man. At least we're sourcing it all from the same place. Well, yeah. It all bolted right up without any issues. We didn't have to hack anything up. We did have to solve a pretty serious issue with the rocker panels. We were in a bit of a hurry putting this all together, so we needed some kind of solution. Some of the fasteners we covered with bog, which were going all the way through the plastic. My point is, securing the rocker panel was a problem. Here it's already attached. On that side, well, you can get it at the very edge, but now we've got a lower mounting point going as well. We dummied it up, so now we have to take it apart, treat everything thoroughly, and with that we'll have plenty of mounting points. You see, when you're getting onto flatbeds and going over crests, you're always hitting that panel, and it comes loose. It was unsticking itself right over here, so something peculiar happened when we were doing the doors. After we finalized the car and fully assembled the interior, furbished the doors with trim and glass and everything, the door became so heavy that opening it turned into a real pain. Not to mention it wouldn't stay open. We really need to find a way to reinforce it somehow. It's being held up by a gas strut, but once we install glass, it falls down. So I'll be installing another heavy-duty one. These are high quality. Then there's attaching some glass, getting the wiring sorted. Igor has removed the center console. Things are happening. And the car will be starting at the push of this here button. It wasn't an easy thing to source, mind you. It cost me $13, but I was already there, so I found a pretty looking button. I couldn't help but spend the 13 bucks. Let's continue working, and hopefully we finish in time to visit a racetrack before it becomes too cold outside. We just need to fit the wheel arch liners, though they will require a bit of love. Yeah, exactly. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but things actually appear to be going as planned. The brakes are coming together nicely, we've almost integrated that button, we figured out how to get the doors to work with the glass. Check this out. It just goes down without plummeting. Looking good. You only need one hand to bring it back up. It doesn't feel heavy at all. panel gap on the door seems to be seriously off. This is what we're looking at right now. Meanwhile, the door itself is firmly shut. Now if I were to trip the handle, listen for the clicking sound, and the door opens. So after we fixed the door in place, it no longer shuts like it used to. Maybe it's down to that gas strut revision, we don't know. But right now we're not going to tend to the issue. It's the same story with the other door too. It secures itself, but we don't have time to fix the problem. So we'll just have to take it to the track as is. Congratulations, Igor! This is truly a momentous occasion, since right now the two of us climb into this car. It's like when they build a bridge. The architect gets underneath, and on top you have a brigade of soldiers. In that same vein, you and me get inside the car and make our way over to the racetrack, where a professional racing driver is going to put it through its paces. He'll do a few hot laps, and if the car remains intact and nothing blows up, that means we can tick the appropriate box and call this a win. We have a power outlet, see that? A race logic device. Powering it up. It's rough going over those strips. It feels just like a genuine Lamborghini. It's incredibly rough and low-slung. You can feel every single imperfection in the road. It is hot in here. Can you imagine if it were summer right now? We can always do this.
Wait.
Sound deadening is absent, plain and simple. You can hear literally everything loud and clear. We're trying to fix the doors, which were giving us trouble right from the start. The glass has popped out from its slot. It appears that the glass was displaced. And when it was going up, it looks like it damaged all of the slots inside the doors. I really don't know what's going on. Look, we have a fuel leak. That aftermarket fuel pump is trying to get this hose to burst as well. Alright, so first we need to adjust the clutch. Since, for whatever reason, the grab point is all the way down at the bottom, Igor will also attempt to fix the door, and after that we are free to start circling the racetrack. What's up? Is it any better? We fixed it. Now it's time to have some fun. Okay, so Igor has just briefed our professional racing driver. His name is Alexander Lvov, and he'll be doing a hot... Well, first he gets a feel for the car, and then comes the hot lap. I'm already nervous. I really want to see what this Lambo is all about. It's got 400 horsepower after all. This should be quite a potent thing. Don't forget that the pavement is cold, and the tires aren't going to give you all the grip they got, so it's not going to be a pleasant experience for you. I'm a bit concerned about that hole in the floor. Oh, that's normal. We'll have a draft in here. It's an aerodynamic thing. We've actually got a flat underbody, just like on an LMP racer. That's nice. This should actually have some decent downforce, some proper aerodynamics. We'll see about that. Let's go then. Let me try setting off in second. were probably distracted looking at us. That was 90! You should have the gearbox checked. I don't like how it shifts. You like the acceleration? Given this is a DIY build, it's not too bad. Getting the hang of it? $105, oh my god. I don't feel too safe driving, since I can't see anything in the mirrors, left or right. Plus, I think I feel some serious vibration going on. Maybe one of the wheels is a bit buggered. One minute 49. You see, the thing is that I'm afraid to push it. We could have gone faster, but I can't get a rhythm going with the gearbox, especially on the downshifts. The brakes don't seem to work properly. Careful, man, this thing has extremely low ground clearance. So overall, how did that feel? Not sure what to say. I don't know if you noticed, but I was fighting the car all the way. I mean, don't get me wrong. It needs to be sorted. It has the potential to be much better and quicker. Me, I just don't want to take any unnecessary risks. Considering that this is a one-off for now, right? I take it you plan to make a run of these? Like Mr. Cabergan? Anyway, I wouldn't want to crash this one. Though overall, it is pretty sound. We were going almost 110 miles an hour at the end of that straight. I personally saw 107. And that's the actual figure, since we are running telemetry, without a doubt in our minds. The next step should be to improve that number. Can we make it to 125? I'm prepared to even watch that while sitting on the sidelines. I'm sure it's possible. You just need to sort the brakes, which weren't always working. We were going straight and it locked up the front tires, and it plowed forward. Add to that the fact that I couldn't get it into gear. Even when double clutching, I still couldn't make it work. As the man said, at the end of the day what matters is the car's looks and its sound, and we've got both of those aspects covered. The brakes are very bad. You totally missed the racing line, man. We were literally plowing forward. Okay, the key thing here is to quickly exit the automobile. That's the first thing we need to do. We broke the front lip. The mesh is gonzo. Oh, there it is. At least there's that. During my first lap, I experienced a brake malfunction. At first, they weren't working at all. Then all of a sudden, I locked up the wheels. And we flew off the racetrack. There you go. Right, now we can sum up not just this episode, but the entire build series. Like, make some sort of grand conclusion. This is the final episode, which ended with a test drive. We even got the Lambo up to 105 miles an hour. That's why I flew off the pavement once it was my turn to have a go. Alexander was so confident in navigating all of those corners. He was 1.5 times faster than me through that one. I screwed up the braking, so that was definitely my bad. This shouldn't be that hard to repair, of course. We just stitched the bumper up a bit. It held up okay. I mean, that was a pretty big hit. I saw some grass flying, so we dug into the ground. But the headlight's okay, the panel gaps are good, and so on. So this thing can take a hit. Yeah, no losses there. It'll make it back to the garage on its own. And yeah, we had a drive around town. It deserves a thumbs up. Next up, we have the RV to tend to. Now, you guys make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss what's coming up next. Big thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode. And of course, big thanks to everybody who's been following this build for 3.5 years. This took a ridiculous amount of time to finish. But that's it for today. Yegor and Ilya signing out. See you guys later.